So now further in trigonometric functions, we start with addition formulas. So after studying fundamental things of trigonometric functions, the next question is, can we expand this sine or cosine? Inside the bracket we have summation or difference of two angles like this. For example, you may have cos of, for example, let's take 30 degree plus, for example, 15 degree, like this. Can we open the bracket? Can we write like this? There is a question. Cos x plus cos y. There is a question. Can we open the bracket here? Cos x minus cos y. This is a question. So answer to these two questions, whether we can open the bracket or not in trigonometric function, that is yes, we can open the bracket, but not directly like this. This is not equals to this. You cannot straightforward open the bracket like this. Can we open this? Answer is again yes. So for this opening of the brackets for trigonometric functions, we have some more, you can call it formulas or results or identities. So we, in this direction, we write the first formula, that is cosine of x plus y, for example. Here x and y are two angles, remember. So this is like a theorem. It can be proved. You can refer the textbook. Proof is not important for us. It's just based on unit circle. I'll state without proof. The formula is this: cos x into cos y, opposite sign if you have plus, minus sin x into sin y. This is the formula, or this is identity you can call. What is cos of x plus y? It is not just cos x plus cos y, remember. It is cos x into cos y minus sin x into sin y. This one. For every x and y here we have this. Second one, let me write cos of x minus y. So it's the same thing, cos x into cos y. Here minus, so here your plus, sin x into sin y. Opposite sign, that way you can remember. Next, for example, let's write for sine function here. Sine of x plus y. Now here in first term you had cos, then sine. Here cos, then sine. In the formula of the sine function here, we have mixed function. That is, here sin x into cos y, same sign here, plus cos x into sin y, mixed function, right? Each of this is like a result or theorem, can be proved, remember. We are not proving, we are just stating without proof. Sin x minus y, that is same thing, just you have minus sign here. Sin x into cos y minus cos x into sin y. So these are the first four addition formulas for sine and cosine. Formula for cosine, you have cos then sine, cos x cos y minus sin x sin y, plus then minus, minus then plus, opposite sign. For sine you have same sign, plus then plus, minus then minus, and mixed function, sin x cos y, cos x sin y, sin x cos y minus cos x sin y. Okay, if you before I proceed further, let me for example, let me write the formula for tan also. So addition formula for tan of x plus y, which is in form of tan function. So it can be proved with the help of these only. So it is tan x plus tan y upon 1 minus tan x into tan y. So in the numerator you have same sign, in the denominator opposite, remember. Tan x tan y upon 1 minus tan x into tan y. In the numerator you have same sign, but in the denominator you have opposite sign. These also If you want, just if you are interested, you can refer the textbook. Proof is not that much difficult, but can be proved, remember. Next one, that is tan of x minus y. So now it is, in the numerator you have minus sign, tan x minus tan y. In the denominator your opposite side, 1 plus tan x into tan y. These two formulas, addition formula for tan function, tan x plus tan y upon 1 minus tan x into tan y. Remember this into, here also into. Tan x minus tan y upon 1 plus opposite sign. In the denominator you have opposite sign. If you have minus, then here plus. Here you had plus, here minus. In the numerator you have same sign. Seventh, that is for cot function. Not so important, but let me write. Cot of x plus y. You can write from these only. You reduce this as 1 upon cot and then simplify each of these in cot function. So that also we can prove. I'm just writing directly. Cot x into cot y. First you have plus, remember. It comes from this, remember. Here in the numerator you have opposite sign. So minus 1 upon cot y plus cot x. Here actually you can write cot x first because plus sign is there, so order is not important. If you reduce everything in form of 10, 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10, 1 upon 10, you will get exactly this formula. And here cot x minus y, which is cot x into cot y. Now you must have realized here plus opposite sign minus. So here minus, we must have plus 1 upon, here remember cot y first. So cot y minus cot x. Here order is important because here middle term is minus sign, remember. So what's the formula for cot x minus y? Cot x into cot y plus 1 upon cot y minus cot x. So these are the 8 addition formulas for trigonometric functions. Very important formulas, remember, throughout 11, 12 standard. Even if you go for engineering, architect, their first 1.5 year everywhere will use this. In physics also you might have started using. If not, you will realize. So there is no other option. You have to remember. Write every day 5 times. So now I want to discuss some examples based on these addition formulas. So let's see this first. Sine 90 minus x. You did this in 10th standard. If you remember, answer is cos x. This you know. Okay, now how we'll do this? I'll use the addition formula for sine x minus y. What is the addition formula? Sine x into cos y, y is x here, minus cos x, that is cos 90, into sin x into cos y minus cos x into sin y, y is x, remember. I've used this formula, sin x minus y formula. Sin x cos y, so here x is 90 degree, y is x, sin x cos y minus cos x sin y. Addition formula. What is sin 90? You know it is 1. Cos x as it is. What is cos 90? You know 0 into sin x. So this is 0 and cos x, so you are getting this. One more, suppose you know these also, cos 90 minus x. This is also from 10th standard. You know answer is sin x. I'll do this here. I'll use addition formula of cos x minus y. Recall the formula for cos x minus y. Cos x into cos y minus, sorry, here you minus, so plus sin x into sin y. So y is x here. So here which formula we used? Addition formula for cos. Cos x into cos y, opposite sign, plus sin x into sin y. What is cos 90? You know, 0 into cos y. So this is 0. What is sin 90? That is 1 into sin x. So this is 0 plus this. So you are getting this. Fine. Now the next question is how we'll get this. This you have not studied. Sin 90, that is pi by 2 plus x. This is 90 degree. This you were not knowing. So let's expand this. So sin x into cos y, y is x. In the sine function you have same sign, plus cos x into sin y, y is x here, remember. Sin x into cos y plus cos x into sin y. Sin 90, that is pi by 2, you know 1 into cos x. You know cos pi by 2 is 0, so this is 0. So you see here it is something different, which is sin pi by 2 plus x, which is equals to cos x. One more, suppose I want to take sine, let's write pi plus x. Let's expand this, we want this. So how do I get this? Again, addition formula for sine. Sin x into cos y, y is x, plus cos x into sin y, y is x here. Addition formula for sine. What is sin pi? 0. So 0 into something, that's 0. What is cos pi? You know, minus 1 into sin x. So here you are getting minus sin x. So sin pi plus x equals to minus sin x, remember. Okay, so we have this one here. By which formula? Addition formula. Suppose one more, let's take this. Sine, let me write, okay, let me use cosine for example now. Cos pi minus x, let me do this. So addition formula for cos x into cos y, opposite sign, plus sin x into sin y. What is cos pi? Which is minus 1, you know. What is cos x? That is as it is. What is sin pi? You know it is 0. Recall unit circle. Pi is here. You know this. Here coordinates are minus 1, 0. Sin represents second coordinate. So 0. That you know. So answer is minus cos x, remember. Cos pi minus x is minus cos x. One more I'll take. Let's take one more. I'll go for cos 3 pi by 2 plus x. So let's expand this. So this is cos x into cos y. In my mind I have the formula only. Cos x into cos y, y is x here. Opposite sign, minus sin x into sin y, y is x here. Now what is cos 3 pi by 2? You know it, 3 pi by 2 is here, remember, on the unit circle. 3 pi by 2 is here on the unit circle. So over here, what are the coordinates? Coordinates are here. What are the coordinates? That is 0, minus 1, you know, on the unit circle. 3 pi by 2 is here, 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2. So cos represent first coordinate. The cos 3 pi by 2 is 0, sin 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. So this is 0. This is minus 1 into sin x. Okay, so we are getting here, so we get sin x here, minus minus plus. So cos 3 pi by 2 plus x will be sin x. One more, let me see here. I'll take one more example. Let's see next about, I'll take cos function only. Cosine 3 pi by 2 minus x. We want to do this now. So let's use addition formula. Cos x into cos y minus means here plus sin x into sin y. Y means x here. What is cos 3 pi by 2? I did just now, that is 0. So 0 into something, that is 0. What is sin 3 pi by 2? You know, minus 1 into sin x. Right? So you are getting cos 3 pi by 2 minus x equals to minus sin x. One more I'll take. Suppose I want sin 2 pi minus x. Let me expand this. So what's the addition formula? Sin 2 pi sin x into cos y, same sign, minus cos x into sin y. Okay. Sin 2 pi, you know, 0. 2 pi is here. That is same as 0. Here 1 comma 0. Sin is second coordinate. So sin 2 pi is 0. Cos 2 pi, you know, it is 1. So 1 into sin x. So your answer is minus sin x. Okay. So now the question is, how we'll do? Every time shall we expand this? Suppose if I want some further values. So answer is no. Every time, this is just to understand. Every time it's not easy to expand all this. So what we do, we write directly. I will tell you how to write this directly. So suppose now I want this. Let's write, for example, I want cos pi plus x. Okay. So what we do here, if you observe two things, if you have pi by 2, then in answer you are getting corresponding function, sine then cos. If you have pi, then you are getting same function. You see pi, then same function. Pi by 2, then corresponding function. Right? So here, what we do, let me ignore this first. If you have pi by 2 plus or minus x, so if you have pi by 2 plus or minus x, 3 pi by 2 plus or minus x, then let's write 5 pi by 2 plus or minus x, and so on. That is, if you have pi by 2, multiple of pi by 2. Then on LHS, if you have sine, we write cos. If you have cos, you write sine. If you have tan, you write cot. If you have cot, you write tan. If you have sec, you write cot. If you have cot, you write sec. We do this. That's one thing. When, if you have pi by 2 plus or minus inside the angle, 3 pi by 2 plus or minus, 5 pi by 2 plus or minus, you may have minus pi by 2 plus or minus x, and so on, remember. That's one thing. One. Second thing, if you have pi plus or minus x, 2 pi plus or minus x, that is multiple of pi, you might have realized. Here multiple of pi by 2, remember. 3 pi plus or minus x, you may have minus pi plus or minus x, minus 2 pi plus or minus x. In short, multiple of pi, remember. Then we keep function as it is. If we have sine, we keep sine as it is. If we have cos, we keep cos as it is. If we have tan, we keep tan as it is. If we have sec, we keep sec as it is. If we have cosec, we keep the cosec as it is. And one more is left out. If you have cot, you have cot as it is. Remember, when we do this, in short, we keep the function as it is. We keep the function as it is. Here, function as it is. Here, you are writing corresponding function, sine then cos, cos then sine. If you're tan then cot, cot then tan. If you're, oh sorry, you're not cot, I'm sorry, cosec. If you're sec, then cosec, and reverse, cosec then sec. When we do this, if you have pi by 2, you look at all these examples, look at here. You had pi by 2, so your answer is sine. You see, you had 2 pi, so function remains same. I'll tell you how to write minus or plus, that I'll tell you. See here, pi by 2, corresponding function sine. You had cos. Here your pi, 2 pi, this one. So function is sine only. Look at here. See, here pi, answer is in form of same sine function. Look at here, pi by 2. So you had sine, it became cosine. 90 degree, which is pi by 2. You had cos, answer is in form of sine. Look at here, you had 90 degree, pi by 2. Sine, answer is in form of cos. Look at this, pi, answer is in form of sine. Look at here, pi, answer is in form of same function. Now look at here, 3 pi by 2. You had cos, so answer will be in form of sine. Right? That way, understood? I hope this is clear to you. Again, I'm telling you what we do. If we have pi by 2 plus or minus something, insert multiple of pi by 2. You may have 11 pi by 2, for example. Then you have corresponding function like this. If I have, for example, let me write 31 pi by 2 plus or minus x. Then also multiple of pi by 2, then also sine then cos, cos then sine, tan then cot, cot then tan, sec then cosec, cosec then sec. But if you have multiple of pi here, look at this, then on both the side function remains same. See here, you had sine, answer is in form of sine. That's one thing. Okay, now how will decide the sign? Without expanding, I want to do all these things, remember. Y is minus sine, y minus sine. So that depends upon the given function. This function, remember. Right? So I'll write here the sign on the RHS, sign that is plus or minus is based on quadrant of the angle and given function. Given function means what? Function on LHS. This means function on LHS. The sign plus or minus, I'll write on RHS, that is on right hand side. Sign plus or minus on RHS, that is this sign, whether this is minus, or here, whether this is plus, minus. How will decide this? So based on two things, quadrant of the angle and the given function, that is a function on LHS, function on left hand side. So three things we have noted. Which three things? You decide the function based on angle. If you have this angle, you write this. If you are given sine, write cos. If you are given tan, write cot. If you are given sec, write cosec. If you are given cos, write sine. If you are given cot, write tan. If you are given cosec, write sec. Number one. If you have multiple of pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, then the function remains same. Here, how do we decide the sign on RHS? Whether this is minus or plus, how will decide the sign? That is based on the quadrant of the angle and the given function, that is the function on LHS. So now let me do one example. Now I want to answer this cos pi minus x. One way you can expand it, but now I don't want to expand this, remember. So pi minus x, recall unit circle. So one thing is sure, you have pi multiple of pi, so answer must be in form of cos only. Your answer will be cos of this angle. Now with this is plus or minus, for that you need to go back to unit circle. pi is somewhere here, you know. This is 3 pi by 2, you know. This is pi, this is 0, this is pi by 2. Now pi minus something, minus means you will go back. So this angle will be in which quadrant? Second quadrant, you know this is second quadrant. In the second quadrant given function, if you remember positive or negative, again you recall this, all S, T, C. All trigonometric functions are positive, sine and cosec are positive, tan and cot are positive, cos and sec are positive. So in the second quadrant, cos is negative, so your minus sign here. So this is your answer without expanding. Right? Let me write one more. Suppose we want, so you did this, just to remind you, we did this, it is here, cos pi minus x. This I did with expansion using this formula. Now I wrote directly. Suppose I want to do next this, cos 3 pi by 2 plus x. Now here your multiple of pi by 2, so your answer will be, if your cos, sine x. That is sure. Now this is plus or minus. Look at this angle. Where is 3 pi by 2? It is here. Plus something. Plus something means move in anticlockwise. Plus means anticlockwise. So you are moving in this direction. So 3 pi by 2 plus something. You will be in which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. Remember, this is the fourth quadrant. You will be in fourth quadrant. In fourth quadrant, given function, not this, remember, given function cos is positive or negative? Positive. So here your plus sign. So this is your answer. That's what you did here. See this, your answer is sin x. That's what you are getting here without expanding. Suppose next I want sin pi plus x. Now sin pi plus x means first you can decide the sign. Pi plus something. Pi is here plus something. Plus means you are moving, you know, in anticlockwise direction. Plus something, that means you will be in third quadrant. In the third quadrant, what about the given function sign? Negative, so we put minus sign. And here your pi, so function remains same, so minus sin x. This is your answer. You are going to write this angle x. That's what we did here with formula. You see here, sin pi plus x is minus sin x. With addition formula, here we wrote directly. Next, suppose we want this. Let's write cosine 3 pi by 2 plus x. Now where is 3 pi by 2? It is here, plus x. Achha, I did same here. Let me write minus, because I did the same question. Let me write minus here. 3 pi by 2 is here. Minus means you are going in clockwise. So it will be somewhere here. Where? In the third quadrant. In the third quadrant, cos is positive or negative? Negative, because in the third quadrant, tan and cot are positive. So minus. And you have 3 pi by 2. So cos becomes sine. So minus sin x. Now I'll take tan function, for example. Tan pi by 2 minus x. You did this in tan standard. 90 degree minus x. You have tan. Pi by 2 is there, so your answer will be in form of cot of this, cot x. Minus sign will not come, remember. This will go in quadrant. Pi by 2 minus something. Where is pi by 2 on the unit circle? Here. Minus means you are going back. Going back means in clockwise direction. So it will fall in which quadrant? First quadrant. There all trigonometric functions are positive, so here plus sign. Next, suppose I want to do, let me write tan pi by 2 plus alpha. Now you have pi by 2, so your answer will be in form of cot alpha, corresponding function, tan then cot. Now pi by 2 plus something. Where is pi by 2? Pi by 2 is here. Plus something means you will fall in which quadrant? Second quadrant. In the second quadrant, tan is positive or negative? Negative. So your answer will be minus cot alpha. In the given function, remember, given function in the second quadrant, sine and cosec are positive, remaining all are negative. So tan is negative. So minus cot alpha. Next, suppose I want to do cosec 2 pi plus y. Okay, now here you have 2 pi, so function remains same, so your answer will be cosec y only, this value. Now you decide whether plus or minus. How do I decide based on this quadrant? 2 pi plus something. Which quadrant? 2 pi, you know it is here. On the unit circle, you know 2 pi is here. 2 pi plus something. Which quadrant? First quadrant. Plus means anti-clockwise. First quadrant. There all trigonometric functions are positive, so sign will be positive. One more. Let's write here. Suppose I want next sec 3 pi by 2 plus, let's write beta. Okay, now you have 3 pi by 2, so given function is sec, so answer will be in form of cosec beta, this value, remember. Now decide the quadrant. Which quadrant? Here 3 pi by 2 plus something. 3 pi by 2 here. Plus means you will move in anti-clockwise direction. So it will be in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, what about sec? You know cos and sec are positive, so it is positive. So answer will be cosec beta only. Next, suppose I want, let's write sine 7 pi plus x. I want this. Okay, so multiple of pi, so answer will be in form of sine x only. Multiple of pi, answer will be in sin x only. 7 pi plus something. Where is 7 pi? Here, you know. After 3 rounds, you start from here, 2 pi. Second round, 4 pi. Third round, 6 pi. And then here. So 7 pi here, you know. 7 pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 9 pi, all are here, you know, at this place. So 7 pi is here. Plus something, so you will fall in 7 pi plus something. Plus means an anti-clockwise direction, so you will fall in third quadrant. In the third quadrant, tan and cot are positive, so what is sine? Negative, so answer will be minus. Right? If I do the same question for tan, suppose I'll write tan 7 pi plus x, then you will see 7 pi plus x. Which quadrant? This quadrant only third, there 10 positive, so answer will be positive, and you have multiple of pi, so answer will be 10x. So this is your answer. If I do same question for example pi by 2, 10, let me write for example 3 pi by 2 plus 3 pi by 2 plus plus let me write for example here y. Now you have multiple of pi by 2, so you have corresponding function. So this is cot y, remember 10 it become cot. Now decide the quadrant. Where is 3 pi by 2? Here. Plus something. Plus means in anti-clockwise direction, so it will be in fourth quadrant. Their cos and sec are positive, remaining all are negative, so you minus this. Let's do one more. Suppose I want to answer, let me do sec, let's write 20 pi minus x. Now here multiple of pi, 20 pi, remember. So function will be in form of sec only, right hand side. Multiple of pi. Now where is 20 pi? You know 20 pi is as good as 0 here. After how many rounds? 10 rounds. These 4 reference points you must be doing, remember. Your rounds are not important here. 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi. So here 4 pi, then 6 pi, and so on. 20 pi is here. Minus something. Minus means you will move in clockwise. So from here you will move in this direction. So it will fall in which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, what about sec? You know cos and sec are positive, so it is this way, sec x only. So this way we get the values of the trigonometric functions using these 4 reference points. These reference points are very important, remember. 0, pi by 2, 3 pi, 3 pi by 2, and so on. I hope this is clear to you. Very fundamental, remember.